Horsetails is proudly brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Agriculture. South Carolina, a true leader in the equine industry.
Folks, DP and the PD Cowboy have finally made it to Hollywood, South Carolina, that is. Folks, got a special show lined up for you here today. Joe Most, Perfect Partners Equine, going to be demonstrating equine mechanics. Now, what is equine mechanics? Well, you just need to stay tuned and find out. Old DP and the PD Cowboy, we're going to tack up and ride a little bit. You've seen some of our shows, you know I need a little work. But folks, beautiful place here. Jennifer Ravenel lives here on the marsh with her family. Come in the gate yesterday, drove through real slow, had the horses out there grazing, and Richard was driving, and his cows are right there, just kind of like Crocodile Dundee, where the water buffalo wouldn't move. We had a cow sitting in the road, and Richard said, what are we going to do? And I said, well, Richard, let me go out there and mesmerize it. No, folks, actually, Richard just blew the horn and he moved. But folks, got a great, informative show, and I'm sure when I get on DP, we'll have a little entertainment too. So stay tuned for some great horse tales today, folks.
Horsetails is being brought to you by Perfect Partners Equine, a unique and effective team approach to horse training. By Soulshine Horsewear, visit them online for handmade saddles, saddle pads, blankets, and purses. By Pineview Enterprises, for your horse trailers, cargo, and utility needs. Also check out their full line of golf carts and utility buildings. See Randall Jones for the best deals in the Southeast. By King Street Auction Company, buying and selling new and used equipment, tractors, and real estate. Call Alton Brown Jr. at 843-382-2121. By Paradise Farms in Aiken, South Carolina. Ride better through knowledge, not luck.
Did you know that the equine industry in South Carolina has an economic impact of nearly $3 billion annually? Hello, I'm Marcia Hewitt with the South Carolina Department of Agriculture. The economic impact of the horse industry is one of our state's best-kept secrets. Thousands of people are employed in different areas, from hands-on care to the production of horse supplies. Horses and the opportunity to ride various parts of our beautiful state, from the coast to the mountains, from trail riding to world-class horse racing. South Carolina is a leader in the equine industry.
There's nothing fresher, nothing finer than locally grown fruits and vegetables. They're tastier, sweeter, healthier, and most of us would agree they're better. That's why your South Carolina Department of Agriculture is working to make certified South Carolina grown produce and products available in stores in your neighborhood. Ask for South Carolina. Nothing's fresher, nothing's finer.
When you hear the name Earnhardt, you might not immediately think of farming. But my family's been at it for years, just like Nationwide Agribusiness. In fact, they're the #1 farm insurer in the nation. And with their On Your Side Farm Review, you get a personalized policy for your farm with the coverage you need at the right price for you. My family's trusted Nationwide for more than 30 years. To find out why, call your Nationwide Agribusiness agent today.
The South Carolina Horsemen's Council is the voice of the Palmetto State's equine industry. The South Carolina Horsemen's Council primary purpose is to provide information to the general public, the media and government agencies about issues and activities that impact the South Carolina equine community. If you are a horse owner in the state of South Carolina, you need to be a member of the South Carolina Horsemen's Council so we can have a voice about equine issues in our state. For more information, go to schorsecouncil.org. Folks, joining now, Joe Most, Perfect Partners Equine, and Horseman Extraordinary. If Joe can't do it, it ain't being done. Joe, I'm not even going to attempt to tell folks what you're up to here today. I mean, I'm very intrigued with it, and we really enjoyed it last night. Just me and you were delving into all sorts of equine goings on. So share with the folks what we'll be seeing today.
Okay, what we're doing today is talking about equine biomechanics and how it affects every horse. All the way from how the foot travels to posture, how your saddle would fit, what causes imbalances in their body and how to recognize them to help your horse in training, how that can be improved, how you can actually fix and address those issues to help your horse go further and do better. This is actually profound in how it affects the whole horse and how it can affect their personality, their training issues that you may think were behavioral, which are actually pain related because they may have a problem in their lower back that just doesn't show up, or a problem in a lower limb discrepancies, whether they have a dropped shoulder or dropped hip. We can also show you problems in their spinal column that just aren't really evident until you start to look at the horse in a way that they're designed to work.
Well, Joe, like I say, all that's a little bit over my head. And then last night, I just, about the third time I met, and you're passionate and knowledgeable about horses. But really, I can see the concern about the comfort of the horse. And, you know, we've got a lot going on with natural horsemanship training and stuff. But what you're doing, I think, is forging ahead. And really, the comfort of the horse, that the horse is comfortable and happy, it's going to perform better.
Yeah, absolutely right. And as farriers, we're all taught to look at the horse from the knee down, and the veterinarian's part is from the knee up. But everything we do to the bottom of that foot affects their spine. It's just no different than a builder coming out and looking at the foundation. Well, you can't build a big house off a small foundation. You know, the foundation, whoever's designing the roof has to know what the foundation's going to be.
Last night, and I was looking at you, kind of mesmerized. You were telling me you could take, with my stay, even if it's double mane, you can kind of look the way the mane is falling and tell me if that horse has some issue in the right hip, the left hip, like that. You want to just delve into that for a second?
Right. The mane is a roadmap to what's going on in the spine. Now, with a double mane horse, it doesn't really give us a roadmap. There's nothing to read. But if your mane all lays on the right side of the horse's neck, except for a little tuft behind the ear at the poll, it lays to the left. The way a horse is designed, they're on a diagonal, and their muscles will pull across that diagonal and actually pull that mane over to the left, so we know we have a problem in the right hip or the right leg somewhere. The same at the withers. If all the mane lays over the right side except a little patch at the withers, what'll happen, it'll only be that there's a low left shoulder. So we can read that and address it. And a lot of times, once this is addressed and the shoulder is lifted or the hip is lifted back in place and put the spinal column back in alignment, then that mane will transfer and go back over to its natural side that it wants to lay on.
Folks, we got some more good stuff coming. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Ravenel here at Dixieland Farms, enjoying a beautiful afternoon with Joe Most. Stay tuned for more Horse Tales.
Horse Tales is being brought to you today by Williamsburg Feed and Tack, your Seminole Feed and Carhartt clothing shop. By Equestrian Images, making memories together. By Myrtle Beach Equine, offering veterinarian services for a variety of animals. By the South Carolina Department of Agriculture, a leader in the equine industry. And by the Mark Hossman Training Center, where helping people ride better horses is our #1 commitment.
Did you know that the equine industry in South Carolina has an economic impact of nearly $3 billion annually? Hello, I'm Marcia Hewitt with the South Carolina Department of Agriculture. The economic impact of the horse industry is one of our state's best-kept secrets. Thousands of people are employed in different areas, from hands-on care to the production of horse supplies. Horses and the opportunity to ride various parts of our beautiful state, from the coast to the mountains, from trail riding to world-class horse racing. South Carolina is a leader in the equine industry.
The South Carolina Horsemen's Council is the voice of the Palmetto State's equine industry. The South Carolina Horsemen's Council primary purpose is to provide information to the general public, the media and government agency about issues and activities that impact the South Carolina equine community. If you are a horse owner in the state of South Carolina, you need to be a member of the South Carolina Horsemen's Council so we can have a voice about equine issues in our state. For more information, go to schhorsecouncil.org. All right, Joe, you've kind of critiqued DP and kind of said he has a few issues here, and we agreed to you're going to make some adjustment, use some good old Vet Tech products. So
Okay.
how about in good old layman terms, tell the folks kind of what you found and what you're trying to correct.
Okay, what we found is that DP has a low left hip.
Okay.
And the hip is low and a little bit forward. So what we're going to do is we're going to start trimming on this right hind foot. And we're going to trim this out, then reevaluate this hip to see how much we need to build this hip up to put it in correct alignment for his body and his posture to help him with his issues, which are very minimal at best, but as we watch him, he has trouble standing here quietly. He's always looking to find comfort, and that's because his hips are out of balance.
Okay.
So what I'll do is we'll start on the high hip, since we know that we can't take any more off of this hip because it's already low. We may have to build it up, so we're going to start here and see how much we can take off. That way we'll know how much we have to build up here. And this horse has a lot of foot
Right.
on this right hind.
And you determined all this by you put on his withers there. Just explain to the folks kind of what you did to determine this was the problem.
Well, we stood behind him, got him to stand up square, and we felt how much higher the left hip was than the right hip. So, and as we watched him walk away, we could see the tail swing was more to one side than the other, which indicated that the hips had a twist in them. As we look at this foot, if I lay my thumb in here, this area here is going to be where the coffin bone is. I don't have my pencil. So what we know about all Mustangs is that there's 1/3 of the foot in front of the frog and 2/3 behind. As we can see, this is about half and half. So what we're going to do is roll this toe back here to begin to create that 1/3, 2/3 rule. So what we'll do is put his foot back down. Now reevaluate him. If you can look across his hips, we still are a little flat here and still a little round here, which this is telling me this is still just slightly low, but it is so close just by doing that. And we don't have to trim this foot. We just need to trim this foot. Let's just take him up here just a step.
Okay.
We'll dress that foot a little bit. And maybe put a little add here on the outside of the hoof wall, but
So if you're putting shoes on him, you would just basically trim his foot, get the shoe on there, and basically leave it alone, correct?
that's right, that's
Okay.
correct. Okay, what we also know is that this foot is a little low to the outside. If we begin to triangulate the bulbs of the heel with the ergot, we can see that the hoof wall on this side is longer than the hoof wall on this side. So we know we need to take some off of here, or we add hoof or add Vet Tech product to that side of the hoof.
All right, Joe, we're getting ready to add Vet Tech, what, Soul Guard, is that correct?
Soul Guard.
Okay, all right.
And the Soul Guard is going to be a very good economical alternative to wearing a pair of protective boots.
Okay.
Because it weighs ounces instead of pounds. And it's going to last for 2 to 3 weeks. And it's going to protect your horse just like having a little tennis shoe, just like a layer of rubber on the bottom of his foot. And anybody can, once you've learned how to do this, can do this at home. You'll be able to get this product and do it at home when you know that you're going to need to do it.
Now you say last 2 or 3 weeks on a normal use, or what? So how do you base that 2 or 3 weeks on just normal use, where you use your horse?
Yeah, on normal use. Lynn, what would you have to say about that?
in the conditions that you're using, DP, I'm going to say more like 10 days to
Okay, got it.
it would be my guess, just because of you're going to go through moisture, you're going to cover some terrain, he's going to be very physically active, so I'm going to say more towards the 10-day, 2-week on this particular horse.
So if we use it and it lasts 10 days, buy it, right?
That's
there
correct,
you go.
you got it. Key is preparation. The better you prep this hoof, the better this will stay into, so.
The foot really needs to be dry.
Oh, right, yeah. All right, Joe, so you dried that with a heat gun, right?
A heat gun.
For about 45, 50 seconds?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's about all it needs. You don't want to over dry it, because what can happen is you can pull the moisture out of the foot. So you just about 45 to 60 seconds.
Okay.
Then you use the a molding of plastic, and then just fill the bottom of the foot.
Okay.
When you first start doing this, it really kind of helps if you have a helper.
Okay.
Because you want to get a thin layer and just kind of push it all into the bottom of the foot and allow it to set up. It's just that simple. That's pretty much it. We're going to allow it to the horse to stand here and for this to set up and cure. The warmer it is out, the quicker it cures.
Okay. And we're looking for what's the time frame setting up?
It'll set up in just another minute or two.
Oh, wow. All right, Joe, so we transitioned from the back to the front, so
okay.
fill us in.
Well, what we already know is that the left front shoulder is low. So we're going to start with the right front shoulder and see how much hoof wall we have and how much foot we can trim while your horse steps on your foot. So we already know that his balance is pretty good on this limb, so all we have to do is shorten this foot, then check for the height of the scapulas at the withers, and then address that foot. So I'll go ahead and get started there. And it's just like on the back feet, we're going to address this horse with, the Mustang type of trimming.
I'm amazed that DP's been pretty patient. We've had him, loaded him up yesterday and brought him down, had him in the stall. He's usually out running around, so I'm very pleased with him chilling out with us.
He's being a good guy.
He says I'm just picking up.
So you determined what earlier, Joe?
We determined that the left front shoulder was low.
Okay.
We need to have him stand as square as possible. And that's very, very close. We may end up needing a little product, but he's so close right there. Let's go ahead and trim that foot and then see where we're at. Since we know that this shoulder is low, we're only going to take a very little bit off of this foot. We're just going to take some off of the toe, then reevaluate.
Okay.
See, that's part of it. If you know what the spine is doing and what imbalances are up top here, we know what we need to do with each foot, whether we take some off or just leave it be. It just may not need any hoof wall taken off. Okay. Now let's see. That's really close, David. See, this shoulder is still back just a little bit. Let's check with our little...
What do you call that contraption?
You know, this is just one of those twisty ties that you can get at Lowe's or Home Depot or any hardware store. And I just use it to form around the shoulders so I can...
I thought it was one of the master's tools.
No, no. Just something that I got that someone else made.
It's very practical.
That's close. See, we're still a little broad here, still a little bit flat here, but it's a lot closer than it had been.
In the beginning. That's right.
So, I would say...
Well, Joe, he is standing quiet, and
yeah, let's go ahead and get Lynn back over here and put some Soul Guard in, and you can saddle him up and take him out for a test drive.
There you go.
Hi, I'm Melissa Brundage from Bishopville, South Carolina. Stay tuned for more Horse Tales.
Horse Tales is being brought to you by Nationwide Insurance. When the PD Cowboy rides, he rides with Nationwide on his side. By Arbor One Farm Credit, providing rural America with sound, affordable loans and financial services. By Locals Restaurant, serving Florence with old-time goodness, from burgers and hot dogs to specialty sandwiches. By Best Way Grocery, located in Hemingway, South Carolina. See Jimmy Baxley for the best meat products in the PD. By Joey Lewis Performance Horses, teaching proper horse riding techniques from trail riding to rodeos.
There's nothing fresher, nothing finer than locally grown fruits and vegetables. They're tastier, sweeter, healthier, and most of us would agree they're better. That's why your South Carolina Department of Agriculture is working to make certified South Carolina grown produce and products available in stores in your neighborhood. Ask for South Carolina. Nothing's fresher, nothing's finer.
Did you know that the equine industry in South Carolina has an economic impact of nearly $3 billion annually? Hello, I'm Marcia Hewitt with the South Carolina Department of Agriculture. The economic impact of the horse industry is one of our state's best-kept secrets. Thousands of people are employed in different areas, from hands-on care to the production of horse supplies. Horses and the opportunity to ride various parts of our beautiful state, from the coast to the mountains, from trail riding to world-class horse racing. South Carolina is a leader in the equine industry.
When you hear the name Earnhardt, you might not immediately think of farming. But my family's been at it for years, just like Nationwide Agribusiness. In fact, they're the #1 farm insurer in the nation. And with their On Your Side Farm Review, you get a personalized policy for your farm with the coverage you need at the right price for you. My family's trusted Nationwide for more than 30 years. To find out why, call your Nationwide Agribusiness agent today.
All right, Joe, we got the tires rotated and balanced. It's been about an hour, right?
It's been about an hour since we first started on him.
All right, so we're gonna see if he walks a little different. You had, what, the left leg was, a while ago you said he was kind of pulling?
Yes, the left hip was low and the right hip was high, and it wasn't moving. The left hip was moving up and down, the right hip was stationary. His left shoulder was low and his right shoulder was high and forward, so we've gotten as close as humanly possible to balancing him up just through the trim, and we'll see what difference it's made in the way he walks and moves along. Before, we also had the tail that swung only to one side. You can go ahead, Penny. Now let's see if the tail's hanging much straighter, and that left hind is not coming in as much as it was. It was leaning in very far. Now that we see the tail swinging from hock to hock, before it only swung to the right hock. Does everybody see that?
Yeah.
And we've made such a difference in just that period of time.
In 45 minutes.
She can come on back, which tells you if that tail can swing that evenly, that there's no twist in his spine going on. Because once the hip twists, then the spine twists with it, and it limits which side the tail can drop on. Come on back, Penny.
I kind of like DP with the tied up tail. I'm gonna have to try that.
Now see how straight his feet are coming off the ground and moving just straight forward?
Right.
He's not taking a step to the outside or the inside. And he almost, what you truly look for is as the horse walks away, I don't want to be able to see his front feet for his back feet. When he walks to me, I don't want to see his back feet for the front feet.
Well, Joe, that was the extreme DP makeover.
Yeah, we made him over. I hope you enjoy having a new horse to ride, because this will help him out. You'll see differences.
Good job.
All right, thank you for the opportunity.
He's a great trail horse, but this is all brand new.
Folks, join me now, Marcia Hewitt, the Equine Marketing Director with the South Carolina Department of Agriculture, and the South Carolina Department of Agriculture is our title sponsor. Marcia?
Yes.
Been an interesting day, hasn't it?
It's been wonderful. I have learned so much. Been a great day.
Well, I have to admit that Joe was really, in the beginning, a lot over my head, but the more he explained it in layman terms, I really picked up on it. What do you think about it?
I thought it was phenomenal. When you read articles and study that, you think, okay, I really wish somebody would explain that to me in person, and by him using my horse as an example and measuring and watching him walk and applying what he's talking about to this horse just made a huge difference.
Well, like I said,
So impressed.
It was a lot of fun here today. What's going on with the Department of Agriculture in the equine world?
Oh my goodness, we stay so busy I hardly know which way I'm going. We've got the National Trails Conference coming up next month, or in July in Rock Hill. I'm working on that. Working on the Beach Ride Committee again. They're looking for a huge crowd this year. And about 50 other projects that the Horsemen's Council, of course. Just trying to network with horse groups all over the state, and you know, I could be 4 people and not get it all done. There's that much horse activity in the state.
Well, I really appreciate the help you give us at Horse Tales. We're trying to really get out and promote equine throughout South Carolina, so that's what we're going to do. Well, let's just ride on around the farm a little bit and see what we can get into.
Okay. Well, everywhere I go, I hear people talking about Horse Tales. I've seen your horse on TV.
Folks, we had a great time here today. The old PD Cowboy learned a lot. Come down here, and old Joe Most went to work on DP and realized he had a few issues. And Lynn Myers of Vet Tech said, let's see what we can do. So they trimmed him up, cleaned him up, and I've been riding him for about 15 minutes. And that, folks, really can see a difference. He seemed to be more comfortable, moving a little bit better. So old cowboys and old horses can learn new tricks. Like I said, folks, we had a great time here today. I want to say special thanks to Joe Most, Lynn Myers of Vet Tech, Marcia Hewitt with the South Carolina Department of Agriculture, our title sponsor. Had a great time, and Marcia learned a lot today. And Marcia's been riding horses for a good while and knows a lot too. And a very special thanks to my good friend, Jennifer Ravenel.
Thank you for coming.
Jennifer, beautiful place.
Appreciate it.
Get up in the morning, you're living your dream, aren't you?
Absolutely, every day. Every day.
Folks, what Horse Tales is all about is horses and horse people. Folks, until next week, keep your reins low and your hands quiet, and God bless this great country of ours. Ride on.